So welcome back to my channel. This is the second in my tarot journal series. So today I'm just going to have a chat with you about some of the materials that I've been using to create my tarot journal. I hope this video will show you that, I'm not using anything fancy or anything that's out of reach for most people. That if you want to create your own tarot meanings journal and for it to look good, you don't need a huge expensive array of materials to do so. So as I've previously shown in previous videos, my tarot journal is in a pretty cheap notebook that I picked up that has blank pages. And on each page then I have been writing in a title. So you can see here I've already pre-done the title for the Five of Wands and the Five of Cups. The pens that I'm using, most of my text then is done in black. So you can see there sort of the title has been done in colour and then the main text has been done in black. And I'll take you through these pages again in another video in more detail. So just to show you the pens that I'm using, these I just picked up in, there's a kind of craft shop called The Range where I live that sells a lot of different types of pens and stuff. You could pick up a multi-pack of pens like this anywhere, I'm sure. So this set of pens, they have like a kind of a soft, ooh, can I get it to focus? Oh, it's too close. They've got like a kind of a soft, fine, very fine nib to them. And they're a little bit sort of inky for inking in the titles and so on. So the black pen has got a lot of use. I am worrying about this is going to run out. I'm going to need to try to find another black pen that is very similar to this. But the others I'm sure will do me for the titles, what I'm doing. So I worked out a little colour scheme for my headings. So the fire suit is red with an orange highlight. The cup suit is blue with a purple highlight. Then I use, for pentacles, for earth, I've used green with the orange highlight. And then for air, I use the purple again, but with the blue highlight, so the cup's colour's reversed. You could use any colour you like. For my major arcana, I've just used different colours, whatever colours I felt like using from that set. So the pink and purple, and as you can see, I just do the title and then outline it. And the Wheel of Fortune I did all multicolours. So I just did that as I felt fitted, and just played around a little bit. You can see I've used a fairly consistent font style. It took me a couple of goes to get this right. So it's just like a little line with the serifs, with the little, is it serifs the name for that in font language? I'm not sure. But that's just the style I decided to go for, and I can keep that I can do that fairly consistently, so I just kept that style. I did watch quite a few videos on like how to do different fonts and stuff on YouTube, and I'm not really artistic enough to have managed it. So I just stuck with something I was able to do fairly easily. And you'll notice, sometimes I've made mistakes, like there. I didn't like the look of that stuck out too far, so I just modified it, and I'm not too worried about that. It doesn't need to be perfect, which is where I can handle this type of journal. So that's what I use for the titles. What I mean by I can handle this type of journal is I don't have to rip the pages out if it's not perfect. I can just leave it as it is. So those are the pens I've been using. Another important thing to have has been a ruler. I mean, this is just a little ruler. I don't know where I got this from. The main thing I've used the ruler for is actually measuring out space for pictures. So I might have decided that I'm going to use a picture, and I haven't printed it out yet. So I might measure the space out. I sometimes do as well draw boxes, like you see there's little boxes around things, little box there, so sometimes I'll do little boxes around things with the ruler as well. So a ruler is crucial. I also need a pair of scissors and a glue. It's pretty thick, it's just a paper glue, nothing exciting. So yeah, these supplies you can get really in any stationery shop. For the pictures for my journal, I have printed these out. So I've used the internet to find these pictures of decks that I have. So this is where I think this process of making a tarot journal becomes more personal to the person who's making it. It depends on what decks you use and what decks you have. For me, with my style. So if I show you, for example, this Ace of Pentacles page, I've got quite a few different decks shown here. So I've started, and with every page, because I mostly use the Rider-Waite-Smith system, I have got the Rider-Waite-Smith images on every page, and that's kind of a core thing. But I have, while I've written Ace of Pentacles, I've also written Earth, Orbs, Tomes, and Discs, because decks that I have refer to the Pentacles suit by those names as well. And then I've got a few different examples. So that is the Ace of Pentacles from the Slow Tarot. That's from the Light Seers Tarot. That's from the Moonchild Tarot, the Spirit Keepers Tarot. This one is the Ace of Tomes from the Numinous Tarot. And this is from the Gaian Tarot. Now the Gaian Tarot would be kind of my favourite other system, other deck that I would use. It's kind of Rider-Waite-Smith related, but it is kind of its own thing as well. So I do make sure I have a section on it on every page. I have also, after I'd already started the journal, I acquired the Mythic Tarot, and it has its own system as well, with the Greek gods and goddesses and the mythic stories attached to each card. So I have started then to add in the Mythic Tarot image mostly for most cards, and with a little bit of an explanation of where that comes from as well. I'm not going to go into all the details of what I've included and why, but just to show you, this is why I've chosen these pictures. So I would just find images that I want to use on the internet. This is one of the reasons why this is not something I could ever sell. I mean, these images are copyrighted to these artists, and I'm just using this for my own personal use. So some of them you can see, like that has the copyrights on it, because that's taken from Joanna Powell Colbert's website, and her watermark of her website address and everything's still on that. That's fine. That doesn't bother me in the slightest. So you can see here I've got some images from the Mythic Tarot. I'm preparing to do the 5s pages. I've got the Gaian Tarot. I've got the Rider-Waite-Smith. And I've got the Spirit Keepers Tarot and the Slow Tarot. So they would be some of my favourite decks visually. And then on those pages, I think I had already cut out from previous printing out that I'd done. There's from the Numinous Tarot, and that is the Triple Goddess Tarot. So in terms of resources and what I actually use to do a tarot journal like this, you need access to a colour printer and the internet, so that you can source images that you want to use and print them out and cut them out and glue them in, and then just some pens to write in and do your headings, and a ruler. Well, that's how I do it anyway. And I keep all the papers and images that I haven't used yet. They're all cut out and in this folder for when I need them for another page. So that, I hope, is helpful to you if you're thinking of starting a tarot meanings journal like this. You don't need to spend an awful lot of money. The main thing, I guess, the main challenge would be in printing the images that you want to use, and that is going to be very personal for each person. Somebody might just want one image for each card, and somebody might want to use different systems, like you might want to show Marseille and Thoth and Rider-Waite-Smith, or just focus on those other systems. I don't use those other systems, so I'm not bothered about including them at the moment. So, you just make it whatever it is that suits you and your way of reading and the decks that you use and your practice. So I hope that has been helpful to you. If you're thinking of doing this, that you don't need a lot of money to start with, you just need a few basic stationery supplies. So if you'd like to see a bit more of my tarot journal and my process, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you back here again soon.